I picked this from the Punch of Thursday, November 13, 2025. Credit to Saheed Oyelakin. Nigeria's House of Representatives has urged the government to suspend the planned introduction of computer-based tests for the 2026 secondary school leaving certificate examinations by the West African Examination Council and National Examination Council, NECO, WAEC and NECO. Why? The House is concerned that most schools, especially in rural areas, lack the infrastructure and manpower for computer-based tests, and so should be deferred until 2030. The resolution followed the adoption of a motion of urgent public importance raised by Honorable Kelechi Wogu, saying that despite objection by the Nigerian Union of Teachers and school principals, especially in rural areas where over 70% of students are located, the Ministry of Education is insisting on enforcing computer-based tests on WAEC and NECO. That is the level of insensitivity bedeviling Nigeria. Nigeria's rulers don't care. They don't want to know. Power. Power. Use and abuse of power. The people's representatives should therefore always intervene for checks and balances, where the executive is full of power and bent on imposing undue, unnecessary, and avoidable hardship on Nigerians. That is why you are there in the Senate and House of Representatives for checks and balances, and not just for your own stomach infrastructure, to put it that way. The crisis being created by the Joint Admission and Matriculation Board in its Unified Tertiary Matriculation Examination done with computer-based tests, full of glitches, and you want to expand the glitches to secondary school levels. The one you are doing, you are encountering crisis, because that one too is a product of insensitivity coming from our most educated people, professors, political professors. It's unfortunate, because these people, our children on whom you are imposing computer-based tests, we know their conditions. We know the schools where most of them, where we have been told over 70% of the students are in rural places And in slums, where you don't have electricity, but the whole of Nigeria, where is stable and pervasive electricity promised by President Bola Ahmed Tinubu. And now, electricity or no electricity, computer or no computer knowledge or no computer knowledge, network or no network, computer-based test. You know, that's why I wonder whether our rulers are thinking from their feet rather than from their head. But you see, all these things borders on morality. And religion has been emphasized above morality by people living on religion, with particular reference to the dominant Muslims and Christians, imperialists, extorting people in church, mosque, and society. So they don't want to know what happens to their neighbor. Power. Once they satisfy Muslim imperialists and as a corollary Christian imperialists, and their own stomach is full, they don't want to know whether hunger is killing Nigerians. Hardship. Fuel subsidy is gone. All other subsidies are gone. Paying workers less than living wage, sinking Nigeria in worse debts than ever. Our legislative chambers, our legislators, consider the need for you to justify your being in that position. The rationale, the responsibility, because accountability is not only to human beings, above all to your creator, to posterity. So, you are all, most of you are eulogizing the economic policies of Bola Ahmed Tinubu. You overlook the mass impoverization policies, fueling insecurities. We appreciate the House of Representatives for this sensitive decision to prevail on the government to mellow on computer-based test. Computer-based test is good, but the conditions are not there. The basic necessities are not there. Electricity, computer, and its knowledge. Availability of network. But you are saying whether they are there or not, computer-based test. How does that make sense if you are sensible? Because it's time to tell ourselves the home truth of the insensitivity of our rulers and lack of consideration for neighbor once they satisfy mosque and church. And you are saying religions of God. What if it is the religion of the devil? This is religion of human exploitation, unbridled human exploitation. But now, those of you in the legislative chambers, it's your duty, it's your responsibility to beat the government back to line of propriety, of fairness, of justice. So, well done, and we hope that the Senate and the executive arm of government will reason along with the House of Representatives and do justice, which is to postpone computer-based tests for Nigeria's secondary school leaving certificate examinations indefinitely until the conditions are right. Available electricity, computers, it's the knowledge of computer, and availability of network. That is propriety. That is reasonability, not otherwise.